Welcome to qnawire.
Okay, in this problem we have air we assume is at the dew point at a temperature of T equals 5 degrees Celsius. And we assume that this air is brought into a room, into a building, sucked into the building, which has a temperature of room temperature, 25 degrees Celsius. And assuming that the pressure is the same going outside and inside at about 1 atmosphere, we are asked to find the relative humidity. Now, this problem is actually pretty straightforward. We have to consult, like many problems in this chapter, table 18-2. So the outside air is at the dew point. So its water vapor pressure is the saturated vapor pressure of 5 degrees Celsius. So let's just write that in words. If we're at the dew point, that necessarily means that vapor pressure is at the saturated value, PV sat, we'll say, which is that value at 5 degrees Celsius. That's what it means to be at the dew point. So we use table 18-2 to find what that pressure is, to find the saturated vapor pressure. Turns out for 5 degrees Celsius, it's an entry in the table, so we don't need to do any interpolation to go in between values of the table. So we end up with a saturated vapor pressure of 872 Pascal. Now here's a nuance, is that we're considering a fixed number of moles that is brought into the room from outside at constant pressure. Because the pressure is constant, so we say, because P1 is equal to P2, going from the outside to the inside, the partial pressures are also the same for a fixed number of moles. Thus, the vapor pressure of 872 Pascal, the saturated value, is the same inside as well, which is useful. Now, the saturated pressure at the higher temperature of 25 degrees Celsius is 2300 Pascal. So the relative humidity is going to be the ratio of these pressures. Our 872 value and the larger value at the larger temperature, which would give us 0.374, meaning the relative humidity is about 37%. And that's it. We're mostly relying on some assumptions that the pressure stays the same, thus the partial pressures are the same inside and out, and we're consulting the table to find saturated vapor pressure, which corresponds to the dew point.